Hello everyone and welcome to this short demo video about the DYCE Cockpit app. My name is Leon Ludwig. I'm a software developer here at Singhammer IT Consulting. And in this video, I will show you how to set up your own cockpit tiles, how to apply filters and date filters, and how to change the style of the tile based on how many entries or how many actual records fall into that tile. So to get an idea of what I'm talking about, let's first have a look at a sales quote and what the DYCE Smart Workflow Tool actually adds to it. So actually here you can see we added an action called set process status, but first have a look at the fields. So here is the sales header, in this case a sales quote, and you can see that there are 4 new fields, the process code and the process, which is basically the description of the process code, as well as the process status code and the process status. So the process code is basically to define which process this document belongs to. So in this case, I defined a process called the sales quote standard process. And inside that process, we have many different steps. So let's just have a look at the list of the processes to give you an idea of what it might look like. So I just created a few processes, but let's go to the sales quote standard process and have a look at the status list. So this is how it looks like. First, we have the initial status of the sales quote being created. Then there is some work in progress. After that, we will start an approval process. By the way, we make use of the new feature inside the Smart Workflow tool to be able to call external systems, in this case, to trigger a Power Automate flow, which will start an approval process inside Microsoft Teams. And based on the outcome of that approval process, the next correct status will be set. So either the approval gets rejected or granted. After that, we want to send the quote over to the customer, which can also be done by using a Cloudflow. And depending on the customer's reaction, it either gets declined or confirmed. When it's being confirmed, well, we want to transform that quote to an order. All right, so to add other steps to that process, you can just add a new status code. So there you have a list of all the defined statuses, and maybe you want to define new ones. So you can just add new status codes and add whatever you want to like this. And that easy, I can extend that process. Okay, so for now, we should delete this. All right, so now this process status is not correct, so I want to set it to created. Okay, and now we want to set up new cockpit tiles to be able to keep track of all the different documents in different statuses. So therefore, we're gonna extend this list, and we want to add some tiles for sales quote. Actually, I'm thinking about 4 tiles, which will show us all the sales quotes assigned to us, but in the different statuses. So let's say my sales quotes work in progress, my sales quotes approval pending, oops, my sales quote approval rejected, and of course my sales quotes approval granted. All right. Obviously, we need to apply a filter. So we now have those additional fields of the process status code. And for the work in progress documents, well, we want to filter on sales quote 0-000, or we want to filter on sales quote 1-100. So those are the 2 status codes of sales quote created or sales quote work in progress. So all the sales quotes which have no status assigned, or one of those 2, let's do it like this, or empty, will show up in that tile. And obviously I also need to define the assigned to user ID, which is admin in this case. Approval pending. Same for that. We're going to define the process status code to be SQ2-201 or SQ2-200. For the third one, process status code should be something like SQ2-230. And last but not least, if the approval has been granted, we want to set the process status code SQ2-250 and remove that. All right. Maybe we also move these two tiles a little bit down here. So now you can see, let's restart the application first. Now you can see we have 4 tiles, which will give us a quick overview about all the current sales quotes that are assigned to us, and as well as the current document state they're in. So work in progress, approval pending, approval rejected, approval granted. So let's just start the approval flow for one of those quotes. So just assume we are done with it. I mean, we could have a quick look. What have we done there? The Athens desk as well as the London swivel chair, that's fine. And we want to set a process status, and with that we want to start an approval process. I will show in another video how the workflow inside Power Automate is actually being used, but for now it's fine to just have a look at this. So now you can see the sales quote that we just sent over to the approval process is now in our tile approval pending. So the current status is SQ2-201, and someone in Microsoft Teams should now get a notification that a sales quote has been asked to be approved. So I will switch over to Teams right now. And as you can see, right now there is a new request for the sales quote. This is actually an adaptive card. You can also define them on your own, how they look like and what information they should have. You can also embed videos, images, and stuff like that, and also have hyperlinks. In this case, I will just show the adaptive card, which is provided by Microsoft, which will also let us click on details, which will then show us inside Teams the actual document from Business Central without even having a license. So you can only have a look at this in the read-only mode. But I think that's enough. We can also see statuses are there. We can also have a look at the items. And then if we are fine with that, we can just click on approve. We could also leave a comment there. Let's just expand the lines if we don't want to see all the details, but just the lines and the quantity and the amounts. And then we say, oops, that's fine. Thank you. We click on approve inside Teams, and in the background, the Power Automate flow will automatically set the next status and will also inform us that the status has been set. So as you can see here, the next status SQ2-250 has been set. And also we will transfer the comment that has been put in there. So now let's switch back to Business Central and click on refresh. So as you can see, the sales quote just moved from the approval pending to the approval granted tile. So we can open the sales quote and we see that the next status has been set automatically. And we can also see, if you click on information, that the comment has been added. Well, that was a long time ago, maybe just delete it. And now we would be good to go to set the next status and send the quote to the customer. So let's just do this. It now disappears from this tile. And now you could also create a bunch of more tiles, which will give you an overview of all the approved sales quote that have been sent to a customer. So to wrap it all up, The DYCE Smart Workflow Tool enables you to define your own workflows, to define many different workflows for the same kind of document. So you can have different approaches for handling a sales quote, for instance, depending on new customer, on long-lasting customers, maybe on customers in other countries, because there has to be a specific kind of uh, approval process or something like that, etc. And not only for the sales quotes and orders, also for the purchase documents, also for projects, etc. And then in combination with the DYCE Cockpit, you really it's really powerful. So every user has their own very own cockpit. Every user can just focus on the documents that are relevant to them, and can also adjust their own filters. And for the next video, I will show you how to connect a process status with a so-called status action. So to give you a quick idea of the content of the next video, if you're in this sales quote standard process, as you may have already noticed before, there is a column called number of actions. And if we click on that, we can attach actions to that status. So we can execute a report, a code unit, or we can trigger a business event. And on the other side, in an external system, we can subscribe to that business event so that whenever this status is set, this business event will trigger, and whatever flow or whatever external system we connected on the other side, this will react to that status change. So I'm happy to see you in the next video, and thank you for your attention.